Let's talk about the three types of relationships from the spiritual standpoint. And this is not about karmic or a twin flame or soulmate relationships. This is just about the progression of relationships and their timelines as we look at it from the spiritual standpoint. The first type is the most ideal type of relationships, and this is a big blessing. Usually, it's considered to come when the two people have lived many lifetimes of learning, of mastering their relationships. And in this lifetime, when they meet each other, they come together to fulfill a bigger purpose. So because they have mastered the art of relationships, and in this life, their mission is about setting an example of a harmonious relationship. This usually happens when the two people, when they meet, feel a lot of trust, a lot of ease with each other, and the relationship just slides, just blooms, and they get together without much difficulty. In this bond, there's a lot of trust, there's a lot of openness, a lot of communication, a lot of ease, and this usually is set in this way so that the two people can fulfill their purpose of setting an example of a harmonious relationship, of teaching other people how to be and how to coexist in harmony and trust. The second type of relationship is unfortunately the most common one, and usually this is called the karmic relationship. This is actually not correct because all relationships have an element of karma. But the karmic relationship, in this understanding, usually means a relationship where there are a lot of emotions and ups and downs, of intense passion and romance, but at the same time, a lot of toxicity, a lot of pain and suffering, where the two parties, when they meet each other, they feel a strong pull towards each other, a strong connection, almost magnetic connection, but at the same time, soon enough, they'll start to trigger each other. It is as if they speak two totally different languages and complement each other's traumas. In psychology, it's called a trauma bond when we choose a partner that reflects to us the traumas we have experienced as children. And in spirituality, this is done so that we have a second or third chance to correct the wrongs that have been done to us, the damage that we have experienced as children, or in spirituality, if you believe in it, in past lives as well. So this type of relationship usually reflects back to us all the hurts and pains, abandonment, rejections that we have experienced with our parents or guardians, likely. And in this dynamic, the lesson would be to learn to be self-aware and change our own patterns without trying to change the partner. But usually in this second scenario, because we lack self-awareness, we tend to get stuck in this relationship for a long time, and it eventually turns into a codependent relationship where the two partners are so used to this dynamic that they cannot be without each other. They're merged together, and from an energetic standpoint, their energies have merged together with their mutual pain. So in this dynamic, usually people tend to leave and come back and leave again because they don't have this self-awareness and the discipline and the strength to leave or to self-reflect. They will stay in this relationship because they have settled for this dynamic. Or even if they leave, because they have not changed their mindset, because they have not done the soul work and the work with their inner child, with their shadows, with their traumas and hurts, they will tend to attract the same types of partners, the same types of relationships over and over again. The third type of relationship is the most rare one. It's when we start out with the lack of self-awareness and the lack of understanding of how relationships work, but we are willing to learn along the way. So this usually would mean a very funny thing, that every relationship you have will tend to become shorter and shorter, because with every new partner, you are accumulating a new experience, a new lesson. And because you have learned to navigate through the lessons faster, you tend to break up with people faster, as one of the side effects when you understand that this person is not right for you and they have come to give you a very specific lesson. And once you have closed this lesson with this person, you have closed the mutual karma, and there's nothing left for you to do in this relationship. And this would continue to go on and on and on until you have closed most of your lessons and have reached such a level of self-mastery, self-discipline, and self-awareness that you're no longer scared to be lonely, to be left alone, that you now know how to deal with your inner child and how to give it all the love and support and validation that before you're trying to get from relationships. That now you know how to have self-dates, how to spend time with yourself, how to treasure yourself and love yourself more than anyone can possibly love you, and be okay with this feeling that you'll never, maybe will never in this lifetime meet the person who will make you happy, and you will stop seeking happiness from other people, but instead you're so wholesome that you're able to go alongside a partner and share the joy of being together. And you will come to an understanding that a relationship is not about taking. It's not about taking the love. It's not about taking the nurturing. It's about sharing the experiences. It's about communicating. It's about sharing the joy and growing together. And when you come into this right mindset, you will find the person who will grow alongside you and will share with you this magical journey of life. And you will find them specifically at the moment you're willing to accept that you can walk this path alone as well. And life would still be as magical as if you were to walk this path with a partner, with someone you love and have come to share the joy with. And this third type of mindset of relationship doesn't mean that you constantly have to jump relationships and constantly have to exit relationships consciously to find this new experience, new learning. Because in that case, you would only be addicted to learning, to growing, and that would be another trap of spirituality. There could also be a case when the two people who have enough self-awareness and discipline and willingness come together, and even though they have not initially matched with each other and have experienced a lot of difficulty, they are willing to forgive each other for the flaws and are willing to put in a lot of work and effort in growing together and making this relationship bloom into something satisfying and beautiful for the both parties in the relationship and make them better individually as people. And once they have reached that level of mastery, of understanding, of love, from the amount of work they have put in, they now have freed up this beautiful creative energy of building, of growing together, and exuding joy and love for life.